Hello everybody, I'm Hope and welcome to another Fate Zero reaction, episode 3. Previously, we met the 7th master, Ryunosuke, the murder-loving cool weirdo himself. We saw freaking so many cool things, dude. We saw, was it Lancer or Archer? One of them killed that one guy, and freaking Kirei was like, he's either betraying or maybe he's double crossing. Who knows? But it was Archer. I'm sorry, getting that confused. We saw some really cute stuff with Kiritsugu and Ilya, which is adorable. And needless to say, I think I'm getting hooked. I mean, I'm already watching episode 3, so yeah, probably. Keep in mind, I recorded episode 2 yesterday, so, you know, it's definitely reasonable to say. With all that being said, I think we should just go ahead and get started and jump into it. I don't know what to expect, except for the Grail War to maybe get started. Other than that, let's go ahead and jump into it. Ah yes, I too like wine. Oh hey. King amongst kings, huh? Gilgamesh, Final Fantasy? He's overpowered though. Gilgamesh has a lot of strength. Okay, fair enough. What a weird guy. Alright, a treasure hunter, I see. What do you want, exactly? Those are bold words coming from your receding hairline. Wow, you are a... I don't know the word. Well, thanks, Thanos. Can't wait. Okay, so Kirei was behind this as well. That's crazy. It's such a cool plan. Intro time, baby. I love this intro. It's awesome. I like the ending song even more, though. Rika esu. Oh yeah. Kiritsugu and weirdo and dickhead. Archibald's kind of an asshole, to be honest. Don't stop. I'm ready for the drop. No suru dashita gashita mirai de. Toss his ass! Oh man, so many things going on. There's Gilgamesh. Demo. I'm sure there's a lot of things you could probably analyze in that intro, but I'm not seeing it yet. Hello, yes. Yeah, it's crazy. It's insane. He doesn't care. Oh, he's just watching war movies?
お前は毎日せんべいかじってビデオ見てるだけじゃないか。
VCR? Damn.
そのための魔力だって僕が供給してるんだぞ。
暗殺者ごときがなんだと
Was he a weak one?
隠れ潜むだけが取り柄のアサシンなんぞ。
What a savage.
世の敵では
What a savage.
それよりも坊主、すごいな、これだ、これ。俺、この B2 という
The
黒
big
くてで
black
かいやつ、
B2 thing.
素晴らしい。こいつを10機ばかり購入したいのだが、
Those
どうか
don't exist.
とりあえずこのクリントンとかいう男が
This
当面の
Clinton
難敵
guy.
だ。誰予想以来の手強い敵になりそうだ。
That's
まあ
great.
何にせよ
That's fucking
真っ
great.
先に脱落したのがアサシンだったのはありがたい。お前はどうせ真正面から敵にぶつかっていくタイプだろ。
You think?
だからアサシンを通
The
したサー
most,
バント
probably the most powerful
見ていた
one.
のであろう。
多分遠坂のサーバントだと思う。姿格好といい攻撃といいやたら金ピカで派手なやつだった。ともかく一瞬のことで何が何やら。
たわけ
Ow, my forehead.
世が戦うとすればそれは勝ち残って生きている方であろうが、そっちを視線に観察せんでどうする。
Well, I'm sorry.
なんでもいいわ。その金ピカだかなんだかを見て他に気になるようなことはなかったか。まあホーグを数で捉えようとするのは意味がない、知っておろうがホーグというのはその英霊にまつわるとりわけ有名な故事や逸話が具現化したものであって、一つの特殊能力、一種類の攻撃手段といった場合もある。無数に分裂する剣
A sword that splits into infinite copies.
あり得るな。それは単一の宝具として定義し
Okay, so everyone has a single, like, skill that they have.
あれは分裂したというにはあまりに一つ一つの形が違いすぎる。
まあいいわ。
Called a noble
敵の
phantasm.
正体なんぞはいずれ相まみえた時に知れることだ。
Ow!
そんなんでいいのかよ。
良い。むしろ心が躍る。食事にセックス、眠りに戦。
God damn.
何事につけても存分に。
This man is a true
それ
guy,
が
I
人
guess.
生の秘訣であろう。さあ、ではそろそろ外に楽しみを求めてみようか。出陣だ坊主、支度せい。
出陣
Yeah,
どこへ。
whatever, you want to get out of that position because it's kind of weird.
ふざけるなよ。
そやつらを見つけた橋から勝ってゆく。
見つけて狩るってそんな簡単に。
世はライダー。こと足に関しては他のサーバント
Okay,
より
so we've got the
優
speed
位よ。
advantage. That's cool.
待て待て待て。
Yeah, 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 yeah. Don't break the house. Don't break.
に従い、琴峰綺麗は聖堂教会による身柄の保護を要求します。
Oh.
受諾する。監督役の責務にのっとって琴峰理性があなたの身の安全
Well,
を保
that's
証す
good,
る。
I guess.
さあ奥へ。
Good for you.
誰かこの教会を見張っている者は？
ない。ここは中立地帯として不可侵が保障されている。余計な干渉をしたマスターは教会からの還元がある。
では反対ということですね。一人足りないか。できれば全てのマスターに見せておきたかったところだ
Is
が。
that what you were betting on?
今の局面で御三家の邸宅を監視することはマスターとして当然の策でございましょう。
その程度の用心も怠るようなものであれば、どの道我らアサシンを
You guys are all assassins? Excuse me? It was a fluke? What?
戦端は開かれた。いよいよ始まるぞ。第四次聖杯戦争が。こ
How?
そも今度こそ奇跡の成就を見届けられそうだ。
I'm very confused. Kirei, what's going on in your mind? It's such a mystery.
ここがキリツグの生まれた国。どうセイバー、空の旅の感想は。
I'll be real, I love
別段どうということ
Saber's
も
no comment in
期
particular.
待していたよりは
I love
弾けない
her
ものでした
business suit
英
outfit.
霊とも
It's
なれば
so
空を飛ぶくらい驚くほどでもないかしら。
it's sexy, I guess.
サーバントは限界する際に現代の知識を与えられますから、いざとなればこの飛行機という機械を乗りこなすことも可能です。
操縦できるの？
Okay.
私の机上スキルは幻獣真獣を除いて乗り物という概念全てに適用される能力ですから。
Well,
蔵にま
nice.
たがり手綱を握ればあとは直感でなんとかなります。
That's actually pretty cool.
私は笑われるようなことを言いましたか？
せっかくの日本だもの、戦いが始まる前に満喫しておかないと。
危険です。
Yikes.
どこかに拠点を構えてからキリツグを交えて一旦方策を詰めるべきです。
それはそうだとは思うけれど、もったいないじゃない。せっかくこんな遠い国に来たんだし。
Yeah, it's a real shame. You can't just enjoy yourselves, you know?
だから外の世界を出歩くのはこれが初めてなの。
ではあなたはこれまでの生涯をず
Oh,
っとあの人で
really now?
私は聖杯戦争のために作られた
A
人
puppet?
形だったから。もちろん何も知らないわけじゃないのよ。キリツグが映画とか写真とか外の世界の景色や出来事をいっぱい教えてくれたもの。でもこの目で本当に世界を見るのはこれが初めてだから、ごめんなさい、はしゃぎすぎちゃった。
Oh man, it's really depressing.
止めてください。私とてこの街を歩くのは初めての経験ですが。
Damn, that's very kind of Saber.
エスコートは騎士の役目。及ばずながら努力します。
Aw, very sweet.
さあどうか。
That's adorable. I like that a lot.
装備品一式。
That's a lot of guns, man.
この展開どう見る？
出来すぎのように思います。
Yeah, it does seem a bit
アサシンの
far-fetched.
侵入から遠坂のサーバントの攻撃までのタイムラグが短すぎます。気配遮断スキルを持つアサシンを事前に察知できたとは思えませんし、侵入者があることを
It
承
was
知
all
していた
planned
の
out.
ではなく、
Yeah.
サーバント戦では英霊の正体を秘匿するのが鉄則だ。なぜ遠坂はミスミスサーバントを晒すような真似をした？
見せる意図があった、
Mm-hmm.
ということでしょ
Wonder
う
if
か。
they can figure it out. Because we, the viewer, know, but
冬季教会に使い魔を放っておけ。
いいのです
does that name ring a
教
bell?
会の不可侵地帯にマスターが干渉するのは禁じられているはずですが。
監督役の神父にバレないようギリギリの距離をうろつかせておけばいい。
Cool.
はい、
So
わかりました。
everyone is really trying to just outsmart, outwit, outmaneuver each other. Man, that's some crazy weaponry, fam. Nice.
2秒ってところか。
2 seconds.
Overrated.
Wow, that's dull? I guess you used to be a crazy one in your prime,
そ
sir.
この悪さよりもイリアの体重は
Aw.
軽いんだ。
Aw.
もう8歳になるのに。
Oh, you can hear the pain in his voice.
今必要なことだけに意識を向けてください。
No, 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 no. That's not okay. No! Why? But now my heart hurts because damn, what reason does Kiritsugu have to do that?
殿方に付き添われて見知らぬ街を歩くのはとても楽しいわね。
殿方のまがいもので事足りましたか？
火の打ちどころもなかったわ。今日のあなたはとっても素敵なナイトだったわよ。セイバー、海は好き？
Interesting.
好きと言われるとどうだか。私の時代の私の国では海の彼方は 常に遺跡の押し寄せてくる場所でしたから、忌々しく思うことはあっても憧れたことはありません。
Huh.
なんだか申し訳ないわ。あなただって同じ女なのに。アーサー王として生きてきたあなたにはこんな風に楽しむ
Yeah,
余裕なんてなかったのよ
exactly.
ね。
It's such a difference.
アイリスフィールこそ本当は私ではなくキリツグと街を歩きたかったのではないですか？
あの人はダメよ。辛い思いをさせてしまうわ。
Oh.
キリツグはあなたと過ごす時間を楽しめない
No,
んで
there's
すか？
something deeper than that.
あの人は幸福であることに苦痛を感じてしまう人だから。
Does he feel like he doesn't deserve it? Perhaps?
戦う場所を選ぼうって。
Oh man, that's just
お招きに
peachy.
預かるとする。
You're confident.
望むところです。
Y'all are confident.
早く降りよう。早く。
Damn. They're great together.
いや、降ろせ。
そうせくなと言っておろうに。ほれ、状況もようやく動き出しそうだぞ。盛り上がってきた。
You love this shit. You live for it. All right. Uh-oh. Who's this?
この街を練り歩いて過ごしたものの、どいつもこいつも穴熊を決め込むばかり。俺の誘いに応じた猛者はお前だ。
Accepting the challenge.
その成長な陶器、セイバーとお見受けしたが、いかに。
いかにもそういうお前はランサーにそういう
Lancer. All right. Explains your weapon.
これよりし合おうという相手と尋常に名乗りを交わすこともままならぬとは、今日の野良の縛りがあった。
Okay. Woo! Double wielding. Double duel. Sorry. Transformation time. I gotta be real. I love Saber's armor. It is so cool.
気をつけて。私でも治癒魔術ぐらいのサポートはできる。
A healing support. I don't know.
ランサー
I
は
honestly don't know who could win here.
相手のマスターが姿を見せないのは気がかりです。
Yeah, they're hiding.
妙な策を浪するかもしれない。注意しておいてください。
This music.
アイリスフィール、私の背中はあなたにお任せします。
わかったわ、セイバー。この私に勝利を。
Wow.
かな。
Certain victory. Next episode's gonna be lit. Okay, okay. Land of Winter Trees. Kaneyuku, Yuku. I love this ending song so much. I can't wait for next episode though, because that's when the fight happens. Sup, Gilgamesh, you smug ass. Oh, there's Lancer. Gross. Caster's disgusting. Shizukana Deyuku. That must be the real assassin, right? There's no way Assassin's actually been killed. Mochimo. And this must be where Saber is fighting for Britain, but ends up failing. At least that's what I think. Good episode. I enjoyed that a lot. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get into discussion time. Woohoo! Alright, I just finished watching Fate Zero Episode 3, and I've gotta say, I really did like this episode. It was a lot better than the second one. Not to say that the second one was bad, but I overall had a much more engaged experience, and I enjoyed a lot of the interesting moments here. There's definitely some things to dissect and some things to think about. So let's go ahead and start simple by the little bit of interactions between Waver and Ryder. So, one, I do enjoy their dynamic so much. They are polar opposites in so many ways, but they have great chemistry together, and they're actually really funny. I feel like it's a sort of comic relief kind of deal with Waver and Ryder. That's sort of the feeling that I get, because while Ryder is a bit goofy and like fun, he's still, you know, he still likes to kill people, and he still loves like fighting and war and all that stuff. So, you know, he's not necessarily the best kind of guy, but he's still pretty cool. I would say he's not the worst guy ever. Certainly Gilgamesh is worse. But overall, I did like the little banter that they had together. It feels really snappy, and it is really a cool character moment, and it rings true for Ryder's character, is how he didn't really care about the assassin thing, because he has this sense of like disdain for assassins because they're cowering in the shadows and not like in the front sight of battle. So it does make sense for him to just dislike them overall. But even then, he's smart enough to realize that things aren't as they seem, and perhaps it went a little bit differently. But also, I gotta say, Waver is really confident in their chances against winning against all of the other servants, except for Castor. He thinks that Castor will be a challenge, which is, yeah, I would say if Castor does have long-range magic and different kind of attacks like that, it would be hard for Ryder to get in and truly do damage. But Waver is really confident, which is interesting. I'm interested to see just how the power will scale between Ryder and some of the other servants, because we've already seen that Ryder is indeed very powerful, but to what degree, I'm not sure. We also got to see Gilgamesh interact with Tokiomi a bit, and we got to see just how smug and over-the-top Gilgamesh is. He's very, very all about himself, narcissistic. But I do like his voice acting. It's really good for the role, and his presence is interesting. I'm not sure what to make of it. Tokiomi is very... You have to please Gilgamesh. You really don't want him on your bad side, or you're going to have to use your command seals, probably. So that's why Tokiomi is so, like, lax and, like, bowing to him and just being as formal as possible, which does make a sense. But it's also really cool because I think subtly they're trying to make the viewer think otherwise, but I think that that Tokiomi has this all under plan, along with Kirei. They've got everything under motion. I think what they're doing is they are really trying to just put everything in disarray and make the unexpected their key sign of attack here. And you can tell that Tokiomi is confident. He does have a sense of confidence to him, because not once does he feel frightened or afraid. He's really glad that things are coming together. And Kirei certainly is not a traitor, at least not now. For now, he's doing everything that Tokiomi wants him to do, which is interesting. I'm very, very curious how they're gonna handle that later. But they're in good positions with each other, so we'll just have to see. We also got a little bit of exposition about the servants' powers. So each servant has a noble phantasm, which is their signature like skill, like their signature class skill, I guess. And they only have one. It's only possible to have one, apparently. And interesting enough, they can't really figure out Gilgamesh's, because his attack is really interesting, because it's like multiple swords with different like properties to them. So it's kind of hard to interpret what his skill is, or maybe that's something else. Who knows? But I'm certain that it's going to be a very complicated power, or maybe it is just ludicrously simple, and that's the point. We'll just have to see as we learn more about each servant's powers and we see more of Gilgamesh in action. But the Noble Phantasm thing is a really cool idea. It gives a bit of balance to the power scaling of the servants, which I think is important to have, especially when you have literal demigods fighting each other. So, you know, that's pretty cool. Kirei also went to the church and is having them protect him, oddly enough, which, I mean, yeah, he would be a target, which is absolutely smart. But then some weird shit started to happen. We saw other, like, assassins come out, like, from the shadows, and I'm not sure if they're necessarily assassins in the sense that they are the servant assassin, or if they're just regular assassins, or I don't know. But some fishy stuff is being cooked up, because it's spoken about later that Assassin's death seemed a bit odd because of Assassin's skills. He shouldn't have been able to been discovered so easily. So I'm guessing that this is more of a bait and switch sort of thing, and that Assassin's abilities are much more complex than we think. Maybe he has the ability to split himself into different entities, or maybe Assassin is made up of 13 people, or like 7 different shadows, I don't know. But he definitely probably splits into different assassins, I think. But I wonder how his power is balanced, if that's the case, because that seems pretty freaking powerful, if that's true. But is Assassin dead? I give it like a 10% chance yes, and like a 90% chance no. I'm very in favor for it being no, and that it's just this big, grand, crazy plan. So we'll just have to continue to get onto that. Now, the second half of the episode featured a lot of very interesting character moments that I enjoyed quite a bit. We're really fleshing out the characters subtly, which I think is fantastic because I really love subtle character development rather than... That's not to say that that non-subtle character development is bad. It's just that it's really neat when you can pick up on it and you just see these little things. It just makes you feel more attached to the show, and it makes you feel really like a part of it, I guess, in a way, like you're really invested. So we switch to Ilia and Saber arriving, and we learn a lot of cool things. For one, we learn about Saber's ability to pilot literally anything, except for divine and phantasmal beasts, which, sure, you know what, that's fair. And that's a pretty cool ability. And I really like the way that Ilia laughs at Saber's very, very formal and kind of monotone way of speaking, and how it's like, how she acts like so... What's the word I'm looking for? She's not really pompous or anything. She certainly does act differently. Also, have I been calling Irie Ilia? If I did, I'm a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. We're sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. Forgive me. So, okay. So yeah, there's that. We learned something very interesting about Irie, is the fact that she's never left the castle in Germany before, and has been there her whole life. As she calls herself a puppet. I think what she's referring to is she's referring to herself as merely a tool for Kiritsugu to use to further his ambition. And that's really sad to me, because she looked really pained to talk about that, but also very, like, happy at the same time. It was very mixed. Her feelings are definitely a lot more complex than just one emotion. She's both happy and very, very melancholic, I would say, about everything that's happening. Because on one hand, she really wishes that she could enjoy the sights of Tokyo and enjoy the different nice aspects of life and enjoy her family, but she knows that she's a tool or a puppet, and she has a purpose that she will fulfill and die by the end of this. So seeing that she puts up this like smile and this bubbly energy is really, really sad, because I think that's just a defense for her true inner sadness, and that really makes me respect Irie more, because you can tell that she cares so much about other people, and she's being super kind to Saber. And then we have a great character moment with Saber here, is that throughout the discussion, or throughout the little bit here, Saber has been going on about how we need to hurry, we have no time to like sightsee or whatever, because she's very orderly and a bit strict on that kind of stuff. But when she hears of Irie's little tale there, she decides, you know what, we can make time. She gets the cab to stop, and they decide to explore the sights, and she does so with such a pleasant bravado that is undeniably adorable. The way she's like bows and takes her glove off her hand to grab Iris is such a cute little thing that I really did like a lot. Next up is probably the most interesting part of this episode. One of the most interesting is when we cut back to Kiritsugu, who's already here. He's been here for about half a day. So basically, he's loading up his weaponry, his guns, and I think what he's aiming for is to be an assassin, obviously. But I think he's going for masters, and maybe to do like pocket damage to the servants. But I think it's mainly he's gonna go after the masters and he's gonna kill them, is what he's gearing up for. And he has this one chick who's sort of like, I guess, an extra helper, and she shows him the video of assassin apparently getting murdered, and they're very perplexed by it, because they're both intelligent enough to see that there's a bit of a fluke going on and things aren't as they seem. You can really tell by Kiritsugu's expressions that he can tell that something odd is happening, and he just can't quite put his finger on it. And yeah, I also enjoy just how everybody's just planning against each other. I love that kind of storytelling when you have multiple people trying to find each other, and they're both planning around each other's plans, that kind of shit. JoJo does it a lot, and it's just, there's something about that kind of writing that is so, like, it draws you to it. It really makes you attentive to what's going on. It's just so, I don't know, man. It's great. I really wish I could put it into like words right now, but I'm sure you can get what I'm trying to say. Kiritsugu really does live up to his name, though. He grabs like a hand cannon or a magnum or something, and he reloads it in 2 seconds, and he's like, "Damn, I've gotten rusty." And I'm just like, that's rusty, huh? Wow, that means that in his prime, he probably had that bitch in like half a second, and that's a bit ludicrous. God. And then Kiritsugu starts to break down a little bit, because I think he realizes what he's going to have to do now, and that shit's gonna get started for real. He starts breaking down about how Ilya has turned 8 years old, because at this point he's spent all that time with her, and he knows that things are not going to be the same anymore. You can hear the pain in his voice. The voice acting was really well done here. It's just so... Oh, man. The way he speaks is just... Oh, you can really feel it. But then, the girl is trying to cheer him up, make him feel better, focus on what matters now. And before we get to that, I will say that it's really cool to see Kiritsugu as a character who is definitely going through some deep shit internally. He's really fighting demons inside of him, and he's pained. He's under so much pain. It was stated earlier by Irie that happiness pains him. And my only way of reading into that is perhaps he thinks that he doesn't deserve happiness for the things that he's going to have to do. Rather, he wishes that happiness would go to other people who deserve it, like Irie or Ilya, perhaps. And that's depressing, dude. That's really depressing and painful to think about. And it really adds some depth to his character. And we'll have to see it get fleshed out more later. And we're only on episode 3, so there's a lot more they could do with him. And he's very important already. But then that chick kisses him. I don't know if Kiritsugu is okay with this. There's gotta be a reason, right? He's not just cheating on Irie for, like, no reason. Because that hurts my heart. Because Irie is such a sweetheart, and she doesn't deserve that. Man. Oh, I'm just gonna try not to think about it. But it's certainly adding some sense of complexity and mystery to that. Jesus. And I wonder if Irie knows or just has a feeling but isn't saying anything. So then we cut to some more wholesome moments between Saber and Irie. You were perfect. I love that. It's just, oh, she's so sweet. And we get some cool little character moments for Saber here, in which the simple question of, do you like the sea? Really gives some context to Saber's life, in which he says, well, I don't know. I don't really hate it, nor do I like it. Beyond the sea was always the enemy, and, well, I don't know what else to say. And it really gives a tell of what her life truly was like, and how it was just kind of a mixed bag of duty more than enjoying the simple things in life. So that's rough. And then we have the finale of the episode. The really cliffhanger stuff is they detect a presence somewhere, and they know that it's a servant challenging them, and what's crazy is they decide to act on it and actually go fight. And it's kind of crazy how confident Irie is about it. Shall we take it up on its invitation? That's crazy, man. If I were there, I'd be like, oh fuck, man, I'm not ready. But they're ready to go ham for it. And then we get some funny stuff with Waver and Ryder. God, their character dynamic is fucking hilarious, dude. It's so funny that Waver's such a wimp, and his voice acting really sells it. That was a great moment. Hilarious. And it looks like that they're camping out to have an advantage to whoever shows up first. And interesting enough, we meet Lancer, who says, I've spent the whole day roaming the city. Nobody has taken my challenge. You're the first. So I wonder if there were other masters that just said, fuck it, let's just not fight him yet. That would be kind of funny. But Lancer is introduced, and he certainly has an interesting perspective on how he dislikes rules, the rules of this war, and he wished that he could do things just a little bit differently. But he's gearing up for battle. And the cool part is when Saber dons her armor. I love the armor. It's so sleek and fucking, armor, man. It's so good. And Irie is playing the role of medic, having some heals, and that's very good to have, but there's a little bit of uncertainty on Lancer's side because his master is not around, so we're kind of up against an unknown factor here. So although we have an advantage in terms of healing, we still have a disadvantage in the unknown variable here. So the next fight is going to be epic. Like, I'm excited to see our first Fate fight. Like, people always go like whenever anyone talks about Fate, it's about the fights, and you know, I'm ready to see one in action. It's going to be dope. And yeah, that was really the end of the episode. A lot of things happened, a ton of character moments. Plot is really progressing with servants and masters really starting to come in contact with each other. Coup d'etats being folded. characters really delving into their emotional sides and the pain that they have to go through. A lot of cool stuff. Definitely a great episode that I thoroughly enjoyed a lot. I'm ready for the next one. The fight is going to be probably pretty cool. So, yeah. With that being said, I just want to say, if you stayed to the end of this discussion, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. And I want you to know that if it's morning, day, evening, or night, stay safe out there and be sure to take care. And, well, I'll see you guys in the next one. So, yeah.